Hi everyone, good morning and welcome back to the Self-Love and Light session. Today it's week 7 and the topic is what's your biggest fear? I am Antonella, I will be your moderator and I have missed you ladies and that's why I want to ask Shamsa, what's your biggest fear?
Hi, I would like to describe first what the fear is. Fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. When the word fear comes to my mind, I think of an emotion that's caused by a bad situation. So there are so many things in the world that put me in fear, but my greatest fear is to losing my child. It develops, recently. I was not in that state of mind before, but now it's my greatest fear. When I was, last year, when I was in hospital with my daughter, she had burst appendix and she went to operation theater twice. And I can feel that pain that was unbearable. And now uh, I even can't think about that situation again. So all the time, I'm thinking that what will I do without my daughter, because I am single mom and I have only one, child. So this is the biggest fear of my life now, that what will I do without my daughter? So it became my biggest fear.
Oh, Shamsa, we all know that you are a great mother. Also, because you are a single mother, you are doing on the same time uh, the double effort, and we are sure that your daughter deeply loves you.
Oh,
It's not easy to deal with children when you don't have help, but it's not impossible. You are not alone, and you also should live the present without thinking all the time of these fears, because your daughter will see a courageous and smiling mother all the time.
yeah, I had twins before that. After my daughter, I had twins babies. They were boys, but when they came into this world, they expired. But I didn't develop that feeling that time. But now it's my biggest fear.
Oh, Shamsa, we're so sorry to hear of the loss of twins, and now we can understand even more why you have this fear of losing your daughter. But like Antonella said, we know you're a great mother, and you're doing everything you can to keep her safe. And she even said the other day, actually, on the session that she knows you worry a lot about her. So
Yeah.
I
Thank
can
you.
also understand your fear because I only have one child. So that's a very big fear when you only have one and imagine them losing them. That would just destroy you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we also have had on this YouTube channel the honor to know your daughter. She was brave and shared. We were talking about bullyism. She shared her testimony, so we all had a good impression of a little girl, but with a big heart. And this can only come from a mother with another big heart. So.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Shamsa. Whenever you feel the need to share your fears, remember that we are here all in these sessions. We will be listen to you and share your stories.
Thank you,
Thank
Anthony.
you very much, Shamsa. And Nuha, now we are also curious to know your fears. Does it deal with emotion, animals, objects? What is your biggest fear?
Now in 2020, my biggest fear is if Corona is staying with us. This is the biggest fear. I'm really scared because I have kids And I am single mom like Shamsa as well, because if you get corona to me, what's gonna happen to my daughter? All the time I'm thinking about that. If get sick or something like this, if I went to hospital, who's staying with my daughters in the home, who looking after them, what happened to them? I'm always thinking about these things. When we go out, it is very hard to continue wear a mask, and also it is very hard to control my small one to wear her mask, to stop touching things, to stay away from people or something like this is very hard and scary, really scary. It scared me. Suspicion of everything, table, everything, but I can't, put them in home long time. From time to time I will take them to go out to walk, to do anything, because to fresh air or to do anything and come back, because they still children, they still need to go out and come back. But this is a biggest fear now in 2020. Also I care about my country, the people in my country, suffering from different things, poverty, and something goods is very important things is very expensive, they can't afford it. And also about many problem, they're going to separate our country to different country, because depending on water, gold, oil, something like this, and many problem everywhere. And the country is not safe like before, and many problems they make you scared about many things, because we have family in back home also. Uh, and the last one is the gadget. It took our children like computer games and mobile games and tablet and uh, the games, took our children away from us. This is the biggest fear sometimes. Yeah, think about all these things, technology, something like this took our children away. We're gonna lose them. Sometimes we fighting to put our children, to listen to us or to speak to them, because they're thinking about, I'm gonna go to play a game and come back, something like this, and they get addicted to these computer games. This all our fear. Yeah.
We are sorry to listen all these negative situation, and sometimes it's true. Children are the ones who most suffer because they don't have the capacity that we adults have, and it's not easy also to deal with difficult paths. So we are also here to support you, Nuha. If someone wants to comment what Nuha has said, ladies, don't be shy. You can also give your contribution as a panelist to what Nuha has shared with us with courage, because she has spoken with courage.
Um, yeah, I think we're all right now actually subconsciously or consciously really fearful of COVID. A lot of us are, because it just seems to be uncontrollable. We don't know if there's a solution, a vaccine, or anything. So I think most of us are actually so fearful of this thing. And what we can do, Nuha, is what you're doing now. You're doing your best to keep you and your children safe by making sure that they understand about hygiene, not touching everything they see, and washing their hands often, and sanitizing. We can only just do our best to prevent this,
Yeah.
this disease. So I think you're doing well in that part.
Thank you.
Because we are speaking about it, I would like to quickly say stay safe, stay home, and stay healthy. Always sanitize your hand, wash your hands like this, and also like this, as doctors has showed, and pay attention to children. So thank you very much for this contribution. And now, Ciiku, what's your biggest fear?
Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to say quickly that there are rational fears and then there are irrational fears. All of them are valid to the person experiencing them, so we can't just dismiss someone's fear as irrational. But a rational fear is something that actually presents danger to you or someone you love. An irrational fear is something that actually might not present such a big danger, but because you've been through a traumatic experience, you try and avoid those things whether or not they will harm you. So for me, I feel a lot of connection with what the ladies before me have said. As a mom, and I was a single mom for many years, obviously I was very, you're fearful of your kids coming to any danger. And like Nuha and Shamsa said, when you're alone in a foreign country and it's just you worry about that. Who's going to look after my kids if something happens to me? And also Corona.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that is a big one. But the biggest one for me is a bit grief. I have a fear of not reaching my full potential. I feel that I have a lot to give, and I feel I have a lot of knowledge to share, obviously learning as well, but I have a lot I can do. But because I have so many different things I'm trying to do, I'm not able to focus on one thing. And because of that, I kind of feel I may not achieve all the things I want to achieve, to reach my full potential. That's something I have to work on myself and try and manage my goals to make sure that I can reach them all instead of being all over the place and doing things halfway. To try and manage myself and my time, I'm able to reach goals to their completion. That's my fear. I'm gonna die without reaching my full potential.
Ciiku, it's very funny. I was thinking what to answer because I share the same point of view, and a person that is younger than you, it's not possible that give advice to an adult. But actually, why not? Actually, life is simple, and sometimes we may overthink too much at every age. So maybe sometimes the solution is even simpler than we think, and people around us truly appreciate us even if we don't reach that famous full potential that you were mentioning, because this happens to the most clever people, to the cleverest people, because since we have tried lots of different hobbies, activities, subjects, we have studied a lot. Sometimes it happens that we feel overwhelmed, and but people around us apperceive, so it's better sometimes to just relax.
You're right, Antonella. I just need to relax. I have to be honest, and I think it's also very important because I've been told by a few close people to me, I need to give myself a pat on the back for the things that I've accomplished instead of always thinking I haven't done this, I haven't done. So I need to also look and see all the amazing things I've accomplished and say, relax, just relax, like you say. So yeah, thanks for that advice, Antonella.
You're welcome. And what you have created is a beautiful network of international ladies that feel free to share their fears. That's why we go now to Ezra. Ezra, do you want to share with us your biggest fear?
My biggest fear, nothing now. Only maybe environment, but for me, nothing. If you ask me before 9 months, 1 year, maybe I scare about many, but now nothing. because I have 5 kids. I'm single mom, and I must be strong. I must be no scared about anything because I push my kids. Now I am first steps. I think I go very very good because I learn them. People must be strong and no scared about anything. We can solution any problem. I success about all my problem alone. Maybe sometimes Nuha, who is my in journey from the beginning, um, but now I am not scared about anything.
I think that your intervention is the most powerful that I've heard in this YouTube channel. Really, with only one sentence, we have understood that you still have a superpower. You are a mom of 5 children, a single mom. So, wow,
Yeah,
it's really remarkable. I think that we can only positively comment that you are for sure a model, even if we don't know each other in person. Ezra, I'm sure that you are a model that your children follow as a sample. They look at you because you are very courageous. Your words are very empowering. Do you agree with me, ladies, in the
yeah.
panel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Wow.
so strong. Yeah,
If the times for situation corona, COVID, for this COVID, I learn them this environment and happen for the whole world. My kids be strong, no afraid from, yeah.
Yeah,
We
and
enjoy with this period. Yeah.
yeah, and Isra, you're right that as mothers, sometimes we just try so hard to be strong and not fearful because we know if kids see fear and all of that lack of I don't know, whatever they might start worrying so much. Sometimes we put on this strength, but Isra, remember that. Sometimes it's also good to acknowledge and face if you're worried about something.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it with your kids, but that's why we have a group like this, because you can come and share any concerns and anything that you feel worried about with other women of different ages, different experience, and they can help to give you some advice and support you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And showing emotions is healthy and okay, and all of us are worth of loving and being loved. So,
yeah.
and now, thank you very much, Ezra, for having shared with us your point
Thank
of view. And now we go to Maggie. Maggie, what's your biggest fear?
Okay, my fears, at a lighter note, my fear is crowd, addressing a big crowd, because sometimes I would have very good points, things that I would want to share with people, just give them education. But the moment I see people staring at me and maybe paying attention, everything goes blank. That is one of the fears, but in a light note. And another fear is the body of water. The fear of falling into the river and drowning is a big fear to me. And even crossing just a bridge, like we have a bridge called the Nyali Bridge. Just passing through that bridge, even when I'm walking, I can't look at the water because of the fear that I can fall inside and drown. And my biggest fear is the fear of losing my children, like you say, like everybody has said, even just thinking of them being in any sort of danger makes my heart sink sometimes. Because even if I remember the in the past, the danger exposed that they had then, that thought itself gives me sometimes haunts me, and my heart sinks because I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to them because they are my everything. Because at times I was going through a lot and that I was going to die, but I was just praying to God that just keep me alive for my children, because I wouldn't even want to think of them being behind me and suffering. So that is my greatest fear, even up to now. They are big people, but that fear is still there. I don't want even something to go close to them. Even the thought of being close to danger, that one is my greatest fear as a parent.
Thank you for sharing, Maggie. We all, today we have listened 5 participants now, and all these panelists shared this never-ending love for their children. And from the point of view of a daughter, I can tell you that I'm sure that all of your children love you in the same way. So Shiro, you are the last panelist, but we are still here to listen your biggest fear, or fears, if you have more than one.
Fears. I think I have some irrational fears. I would call them irrational, and some rational fears. As a mother, like all the mothers here have said, I fear, of course, losing my only child. If he comes home late from school, he gets late from school, I start panicking, and I'm wondering, because he's on public transport, and our drivers here are absolutely crazy. But I also fear that, or rather, I fear failing as a mother in providing the right direction for my child. I want to make sure he gets a good education so that he can have a good start in life. But to me, that's an irrational fear, because I feel so far I'm doing so well, very well actually. And I also have a very supportive family, so that should not be something that should make me fearful. What my greatest fear is actually comes from an incident that happened to me last year. I love hiking up in the hills, sometimes in some lonely places. And one day someone was following me around, and I tried to get rid of him. I even stopped and hung around a place for half an hour hoping he'd gone. But when I went into a dry riverbed, he was there waiting for me. And he tried to assault me, sexually assault me, and I fought and fought like a mad woman. He didn't manage, but it was a traumatizing experience. And since then, I'm so scared of seeing any man, or feeling there's a man walking behind me. Even in a public place, I've gotten a panic attack more than once because of that. It was a very horrifying experience, and it makes me get panic attacks. It's something I would never want to experience again. And that's my greatest fear.
We are so sorry to listen this bad story, Shiro. Of course, you did not deserve this. And of course, it's not your responsibility. So we are here to support you. And on the same time, we wish you to manage one day to be able to have a walk in in the mall, if you are with a friend of yours, or if you are with your children.
Environment.
So, yeah.
Okay, I was thinking how traumatic that experience is, because some of our fears, like mine was an irrational fear, I think, but yours is very real and very valid, and we're here with you, and yeah, like we say, we support you, and we hope that over time, obviously while still being vigilant, but over time that you can be able to go for a walk without getting a panic attack, because I can't even imagine how it would be to experience something like that.
On the same time, I would like also to answer to Maggie's fear before, also if it was about water, even if it's not a fear related to human beings, it's still a very big and common fear. Most people have it, and we also understand your fear, Maggie, about drawing. If you have also had a traumatic experience, it's even more understandable. So we hope that you will have a positive relationship with water in the future. If you are going to swim in an open swimming pool, in a very big river, I don't know. we wish you will be able to enjoy a holiday, for example, with your family. And if there is a river, we wish you are a strong woman, and we know that you can do it.
I hope so.
Okay. For today, that's all. We remind you that after the end of the recording, you can stay to have a chat with us. But for now, we are going to end this session of today by greeting you. Thanks for watching, and see you next week for week 8 of Self, Love, and Light.
Week 8 is cultural appropriation versus cultural appreciation. So I will host that topic. It's an interesting one because many people might not even know those terms, appropriation and appreciation. And if you want to find out what these are, then please join the session next week. It will be interesting to hear different opinions because actually don't think there's a problem, and it would be good to hear their side about this cultural appreciation or appropriation.
Thank you very much. I will be there for sure. And bye. Thank you very much for sharing.